cars were made in Flint, and you couldn't drink the water in Mexico. Now, the cars are made in Mexico, and you can't drink the water in Flint.
Donald Trump joking at a rally last night in the Rust Belt city of Canton, Ohio, and that joke almost Reagan-esque in nature, confronting stark realities of our time economically. Obviously, outsourcing to Mexico has been a big part of Trump's campaign, at least his opposition to such outsourcing. And now, in almost the fashion of an economic prophet, Donald Trump proven right with the news released today that Ford is moving all of its small car production south of the border to Mexico. So will Mr. Trump's message continue to resonate with voters as more and more companies take jobs out of the country? For more, let's turn to our panel. First, joining us via Skype, the managing partner of Harrington Capital Management, Kyle Harrington, and likewise via Skype from Las Vegas, political commentator and former vice presidential candidate Wayne Allyn Root. That one-time Libertarian vice presidential nominee is also the author of the new book, Angry White Male: How the Donald Trump Phenomenon is Changing America and What We Can All Do to Save the Middle Class. Gentlemen, it's great to have both of you here today. And before we get to your observations, let's take a look at Donald Trump earlier today speaking before the New York Economic Club on this decision by Ford.
And I've been talking about this a long while, and I think that's maybe one of the reasons that we're doing so well in Ohio and Michigan and lots of other places where cars and parts are involved. But to think that Ford is moving its small car division is a disgrace. It's disgraceful. It's disgraceful that our politicians allow them to get away with it.
Kyle, first to you. Donald Trump describing something that has great appeal politically. By your lights, is it grounded in economic reality?
Well, look, there's a ways to go in an effort to have car manufacturers, factories back in the United States to be economically viable. However, it rings beauty to my ears, given my background with a family that spent their whole life working in factories and in construction and in carpentry. If there is someone that can do that and make that economically viable and solvent for companies to do it in the United States again, I believe Donald Trump is the person that can clearly and is most qualified to do that job.
Wayne, you and I have talked about it time and again on this broadcast. It's really not fair to just simply define it as economic populism. Really, Mr. Trump is talking about an economic restoration, or at least a restoration of manufacturing in this country, isn't he?
Yeah, and a restoration of capitalism and a restoration of the middle class that's being savaged and destroyed. A restoration of, I think, everything good that made America the greatest nation in world history. It's Reagan-esque, and I will brag a little bit. What did Muhammad Ali say? It ain't bragging if you can back it up. I'm the first guy who saw this in Donald and wrote the column, Donald Trump is Ronald Reagan. He's our Ronald Reagan. And his policies, if you look at what he said today at the New York Economic Club or what he said last month at the Detroit Economic Club, JD, I got news for you. It's just like Reagan. It's so simple. Just cut taxes, cut regulation, get rid of Obamacare, get rid of climate change and the EPA, and build a wall, and this nation's going to be great again. My dad was a butcher. I'm an SOB, a son of a butcher. My dad's been dead for 25 years, and I'm telling you, I could hear him clapping from heaven. My dad's looking down going, yeah, I love this Trump guy. He loved Reagan. My dad loves Reagan.
Go ahead, Kyle.
I couldn't agree with him more, okay? It's exciting to hear. I think that it is picking up momentum in a lot of these swing states in the United States at this current time. And you got to remember, I was told once a long time ago by a venture capitalist, I said, how do you choose the companies that you fund? He said, rule number one, I only fund management teams that have failed in the past. Donald Trump is a guy that has had tremendous success, a lot more success than failures, but he has been in the mud. He understands his way to get out of the mud. He can navigate this country through the morass in an effort to bring back exactly what was just said 2 seconds ago, for America to be great again.
You know, guys, earlier in the program, I said about this, Wayne, I said, Trump is basically saying this when it comes to economics. I'm wealthy, and I'd like you to have the chance to get wealthy too. In fact, I want you both to listen to this. Here is Donald Trump outlining what he believes to be a successful approach economically for an entire decade. Here's the way he put it today.
Over the next 10 years, our economic team estimates that under our plan, the economy will average 3.5% growth and create a total of 25 million new jobs. You can visit our website. Just look at the math. It works.
And Wayne, you've got Donald saying that this morning in his speech in New York City. But meantime, Oxford Strategies put out this report saying that Trump's economic plan would cost our nation $1 trillion. How do you play off that discrepancy?
Well, I don't know Oxford. I'm assuming they're a bunch of liberals and a bunch of establishment bribed people who like to bribe politicians and be bribed back by the politicians who hand them nice, juicy government contracts and quantitative easing, drop money on their doorstep, make it easy for them to make billions of dollars without doing any work. I used to love Wall Street. I used to love bankers. I hate them all now. They're not for America. They don't care about America. They're only for themselves, and they take the government's money, and they take the bailouts, and then they screw us, the people. No one ever helped me with my mortgage. You know, the guys who gave me the mortgage didn't give me any breaks, but they themselves got breaks in the federal government because they're billionaires, and they think they deserve breaks. It's time to break with that being the philosophy of the Republican Party, and Donald Trump has done it.
Go ahead, Kyle.
JD, I was wondering if Wayne could help me out with my mortgage since I have 9-year-old triplets to start, okay? I thought that would be a great thing, but guess what? That's not going to happen, even though I love Wayne. That's not going to happen, and I think Wayne is correct. When you look at these folks that are saying the opposite of what Donald Trump is saying, it is not. This is where the rubber hits the road, and I think he's done the numbers. He's put a team around him, and he's continuing to put a team around him that is going to now map out facts on his website about how he's going to get to where he just talked about a 3 to 3.5% growth rate.
Hey, Kyle, let me jump in and respond to what Kyle said. First of all, God bless you. 9-year-old triplets, man. God bless you. Mazel tov, as we say in the Jewish religion. And I can top that because I have 4 kids, but one of them just graduated Harvard University. So congratulations, Wayne. I got a $260,000 bill. So believe me when I tell you, if Obama thinks I'm rich, I'm not rich anymore. I'm a guy who's working rich, and I work every day to try and survive and stay on the hamster treadmill. And I know Kyle's the same thing with 3 triplets. So it's tough out there to make money. My father, the butcher, was very wise, JD. Here was his saying 30 and 40 years ago. The Republican Party isn't the party of the rich. They're the party of anyone who ever wants to be rich, hopes to be rich, or wants their kids to do better than them. That's what is being peddled today, and I mean that only in a positive way, being sold today by the greatest salesman in the world, Donald J. Trump. We're not the party of the rich. We're the party for all of you if you ever want to be rich.
And Kyle,
imagine, JD,
yes, sir?
Profit not being a curse word. It is okay to be profitable. I know the regulatory agencies and the legal community wants to, chip away at taking more and more expenses from the revenues that we rightly earn. But I'm telling you that I believe Donald Trump will change this into a different direction.
Well, Kyle and Wayne, we appreciate your thoughts on the economy, on the Trump campaign, and even on child rearing. But I can tell you, as a father of 3, the baby of the bunch, now 22, it only gets tougher when they're in school and looking for work, especially in this economy. So another reason why so many of us are looking with great interest and excitement to Donald Trump. And as I said earlier in the program, I don't think wealth is a dirty word either. Gents, thanks very much. And when we come back here on Newsmax Prime, we have our Prime Playback. The man who succeeded former Speaker John Boehner, Congressman Warren Davidson, talking about Ohio and the presidential election in that state.